I haven't slept. I called out of work today. I've been falling into old vices and addictions. It's not pretty, but it's the truth. And I think many of us think that progression is linear. We get wrapped up with the idea that you have to be perfect and more perfect than you were the day before every single day in order to make a change. But that's simply not the case. If this resonates with you, I want you to hear me when I say that. Progression simply isn't linear. The sooner that you can, listen to that, is the sooner that you'll be happier with yourself in the bigger picture. You're going to fall. You're going to let yourself down. That's simply the truth. But the question is, are you going to pick yourself back up? We're going to kind of discuss how to rebound quickly and stay focused, even when old unhealthy habits can kind of creep up on us. Last night was a rough night for me. I don't know what happened, but I was stuck. And I kept trying to run away from my problems, and so I stayed up way too late. For my job, I have to work 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. 5 days a week, and I stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, oh man, like there's no way that I can do this, And for those who don't know, like I work with my ex, like the girl that just left me, like I had to go work with her, and so I let it get the best of me. I stayed up way too late, and I deprived myself of the sleep that I needed to go into that shift. So I called out from work. I had to protect my peace and my mental health, This job happened to forget to give me my raise on my last paycheck, so I don't really feel valued there anyway. I don't condone this type of behavior. Like it's not good to call out like this, but I think when a company, sees you as replaceable, and they don't really treat you very well, and they almost kind of use you, like I think you need to prioritize yourself. And that goes for everything, not just a job. Like when you notice that in a relationship, like people only care, they don't care about how you feel, and they just, are very selfishly motivated. You need to remove yourself from that environment and, just protect your peace. Like that's all you can do. I promised myself that I would stay strong and that I would flip things around when I called out. So here I am making a video. I'm gonna try and go exercise today for the first time in a little bit, and just do, rudimentary stuff. Chase your dreams. Like, change your life. Flip it around. We can do it. That's what I'm working on, and I would love to bring you guys with me. Talk to that person you are scared to talk to. Ask for that raise you're scared to ask for. Put in that work you don't want to put in, Chase that job that you're scared of losing or failing, or chase that dream that you think won't work out. Because I think that so many of us forget that time is infinite, or it's not infinite, like it's a very limited resource that we have. And I think so many of us are fine watching the sand just fall in the hourglass, but in reality it's like, man, you won't get that back. So start living life like it isn't going to last forever. Stop taking things for granted. Stop taking interactions with people for granted. Like like you only have so many interactions with those you love, so treat every single one like it matters. There's advice where it's like, take chances, just don't be afraid to fail. That's how you grow. But like, You only get so many chances anyway. Like, the caveat with that advice is like, they're talking about it like you have infinite chances. Like, you don't have infinite chances, which is why you should try, you know? Because you might not get a chance tomorrow. You might not ever get a chance again. So why would you waste it, you know? If you're battling with any vices or addictions, reach out. Find a support group. Like, you're not alone, you know. There's so many people who go through it, and I'm sure that, like, you know, depending on the situation, like, you might have friends that are going through it. Like, I know I did, you know. I leaned on my friends, and my friends, you know, we leaned on each other, and we talked about things. And, you know, if you're struggling to get over, you know, bad coping mechanisms and stuff, like, reach out, you know. Do mindful things, go outside, interact with people, like, create a vision board, you know. Think to yourself, like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, how can I be successful? And then just do it, you know. Like, just live life like you're successful. Like, obviously I'm not no big YouTuber, but I'm trying to live like that, you know. Like, I tell myself, like, what would I do if I had hundreds of thousands of people waiting for me to drop a video, you know? And then I just go through the motions. Like, I just live like I'm successful, and that's how you manifest it, you know? So, like, I mean, I went from, just in the span of days, like, it's small growth, of course, but, you know, my first video got like 3 views in the span of 24 hours, and then my next video got like 3 views in the span of 5 hours, and then I post a short form content, you know, like, I post a short and I get 7 subscribers from it. It's like that all sounds really minimalistic, but it's like, it really isn't, you know. Like, it's exponential growth. And, like, before I know it, like, I'm going to be big and I'm going to be influential. I have that in myself, integrated right here, and I see it. So, yeah, I mean, just live life like that, you know? I mean, not to get, like, existentialist, but I always have those crises where I realize that, you know, we're on a floating rock in space. Like, how much does this really mean, you know? Like, people won't remember who you are in, like, 100 years, so why does it matter, you know? We get scared of, like, what people think, but why does it matter? You're gonna die one day. Like, as frankly as it is, you will die one day. So, do it for yourself. Live for yourself. That's the point of life, is getting what you can out of it, you know? Make those experiences, and love others, you know? Like, people might walk out of your life, but that's their loss, you know? Like, they chose not to stick around. So, I mean, don't give them the satisfaction of being right, you know? Like, turn your life around. Go put in the work. I mean, results don't come in a day, but if you can detach from the results, then they do sure come a lot faster, you know? Like, I wasn't too focused on it, but to kind of get into about me a little bit, like, I had gallbladder issues. Like, my gallbladder was functioning at like 19% in like August of 2025, and I mean, it got so bad that it got to the point where I was throwing up every meal. Like, I couldn't stomach food. And I went from, like, I think before I started throwing up, I was like 145 pounds. And then once I started throwing up, I dropped as low as like 132, which 10 pounds is like an insane drop, you know? And so I was becoming really thin, losing muscle mass, like, because I had built a good amount, you know, in my previous years, and I started, you know, losing that all. But then I got my gallbladder out, and I focused on just grinding and working out. Once I was fully recovered, and I'm actually able to eat again, which, you know, like, that was a blessing. And I went from the lower 130s to like I capped out at like 160, so I put on like a lot of weight back, you know, and like sure that didn't happen in a day, but it happened really fast, you know, because I didn't think about it. Don't think about it, you know, disconnect. Go through the motions. Don't grade each day based on how it went. Grade each day based on how you handled things, you know. And that's the best way that you can approach things like that. It's just making sure that you can't control the uncontrollables, you know, but you can control how you react. You can control what you do, how you behave, how you view things, and that will make you unstoppable. It sure has for me. I mean, you know, I've been struggling a little bit with this breakup, but like I used to tell myself like, oh, I don't know what I would do without her. Like I wouldn't be able to live without her. Like she's my life, she's my world, she's all that matters to me. If I lose her, I'm nothing. And that's just not the case, you know? Like it's only been 3 days since she broke up with me, and I feel like I'm recovering at a fast pace, you know, because it's like, all right, like I can understand that, you know, I can understand that like you know, sometimes things just don't work out, and that's the reality of it, you know. Now, just because I'm recovering fast doesn't mean that the relationship didn't mean anything to me. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You know, like, that relationship meant too much to me. I think that's why it ended, you know, is just because I just pushed all my chips under the table, and I think it just increased pressure and stuff, so. But, like, it's not, just because I've been recovering fast doesn't mean it's been easy by any means, like, but I'm living, you know, and sometimes that's all you can do. So yeah, I mean, that's just my little rant. Love yourselves. Like, don't ever forget to stop loving yourself. You are enough, and I'm so proud of where you've came, you know. Like, I think so many of us wait for someone to tell us that, but you have someone that can tell you that. Not like me, but, you know, like yourself. So build something. Like building something from the ground up is the best way to deal with addiction, depression, mental health issues. Like that's what's been helping me get through everything, was building this channel back up, you know? Like I used to make videos when I was in 8th grade, as you can probably see if you look through my channel, like all the silly middle school stuff, you know, like video games and skating, and you know, I built a pretty good following with that, but I sputtered out, you know. I mean, I was young. I still had high school. I had a lot of more important things at the time to kind of worry about, but this is what I want to do, and so this is really important to me right now. So that's what I'm trying to build technically from the ground up, you know, is just trying to get to being successful, like how I see it. And you can do the same thing, you know? Like, the human is so underrated because you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything, like anything. So, yeah, man, just keep your head up. You'll be alright. If you guys like this content, you know, drop a sub, like, comment how this helped you, you know. And build something. I mean, stay tuned if you guys want to see me kind of build that PC. You know, comment down below if you want me to kind of start making more content around that, or if you want me to make more content in general. Like my whole goal with this is, you know, mainly like self-improvement and trying to help others with the things that I've gone through and trying to give advice, but ultimately, like, I would love to get into content creation in many different niches, you know. Like, I love music, you know. I collected vinyls and stuff, and so I would love to do like music talk, or you know, like once that PC's built, like I would love to do like gaming series and maybe streaming. Like I would love to get into that as well. Like, but just comment down below what you guys want to see, and or Peace out. Stay blessed.